has made huge waves with their show The Way Home. It's captured the hearts of OG Hallmark fans and newcomers to the channel alike as they explore the complex and mysterious multi-generational drama of the Landry family, their secrets, and oh yeah, time travel. Kristen here, let's talk about season 2. This season finds us diving even further into the mystery around what really happened to Kat's younger brother Jacob in the 90s. When Kat accidentally time travels to 1814, it's revealed that this is where the pond brought Jacob all those years ago. He didn't just go missing, he's time traveled and has been living in the 1800s for the last 25 years. We're introduced to a whole new crew of characters, including the rugged bootlegger Thomas Coyle, and one of Elliot's ancestors, a healer named Susanna Augustine. We also finally get to meet the adult version of Jacob, played by Spencer McPherson, who you might know from Degrassi or School Spirits. And while fans have been rooting for Elliot and Kat to get together since season 1, both Thomas and Susanna throw a wrench into that because Kyler Lee has incredible chemistry with every single one of her co-stars. I personally am Team Katana. And I gotta say, I think the 1814 plot of this season is the strongest overall. This is what we've been waiting for, to find out what happened to Jacob. Where is he? Can we ever get him home? I do think that there are some times where they drag things out. Like, it takes around 3 episodes for Kat to even finally get to speak to Jacob after finally finding him, so I was hoping that we'd see a bit more of adult Jacob in this season. But then I did enjoy the complications of, you know, this guy has grown up in this time period. He's lived more of his life in the 1800s than he ever did in the 90s or you know, modern day, so it's not going to be as easy for Kat to get him to come home as she might have thought. Meanwhile, Alice gets a new case to uncover this season that seems to connect back to the reason the pond has been sending her back to the 90s. And it ties back to this unsanctioned Lingermore masquerade house party that was thrown in 2007. That leads to a fight between teen Brady and teen Elliot and lands teen Kat in the hospital. And it seems like we get to learn that all of this was a catalyst to show us why Kat and Dell have such a strained relationship. Unfortunately, the big reveal of what happened between them that has led to them not speaking for 17 years was kind of anticlimactic in my opinion. A pregnant Kat offers Dell money from Brady's family to save the farm, and when Dell asks if that means Kat's coming home, she's like, no, I'm not, and then Dell doesn't want to take the money anymore. Kat calls Dell difficult, and Dell says that Jacob should be the one there helping to save the farm. Kat ends up grabbing her late father Colton's old guitar and being like, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back. I wish that this was a stronger moment, because this is what they've been hyping up all season long, and it felt very much like, we don't want to say something that's going to make people turn on these characters, but I think they needed to do that. I needed them to have a bigger fight and Dell to say something like, I wish it was you that was taken instead of Jacob, or something more impactful instead of saying like, I just wish Jacob was here. Like, of course they all wish Jacob was there. I don't think it had the punch that they were looking for. They kept teasing like, okay, Alice is going to hate Kat after this. Like, I don't think that any of that happened. They needed to go further there. And then the weakest storyline has to be around Dell. I feel like she's got nothing going on. It's great that they're giving her a romance like later in life, but also it feels like she doesn't want to accept that anyway. The guy Sam's kind of boring. She's just continuing to wallow in the past like she always has, while being kept in the dark to the secrets that Kat and Alice have when it comes to time traveling. So I need her to like get in there with them, learn about the time traveling, to give her something a little bit more meaningful. And just in general, I've noticed I feel like Dell and Elliot don't really have their own storylines going on, and I wish that they gave them a little bit more to do. So I felt like overall the first 4 episodes of this season were really strong. They kept me hooked. As we got into episodes like 5 through 9, they were much slower. I think that the reveals could have been bigger. They do introduce us to some interesting things. We finally get to speak with Jacob. Like, Nick finds out that Alice is his Alice, which was crazy. But I just needed more of that. Some of it felt like we were wasting some time just with these slower stories in the middle of the season. But the finale... The finale packs a punch. This is what I've been waiting for. This to me was sort of like how I felt in season 1 when we saw what happened to Colton and how his car accident happened, and I was like, oh my god, my mind is blown. What the heck? Oh my god. That's what this finale was to me. But it also felt like I wish that they span that out throughout the episodes, you know? I'm excited to get into season 3 and see what that's going to all mean. So let's break some of that down as well. The stakes are taken to the next level in the season finale. We get answers, but also more questions and just new mysteries. So I'm glad that they've already confirmed a season 3. After all of Elliot's research, we finally get to start learning a bit more about time travel, especially when Elliot goes back to the 90s with Alice. I was not expecting that. I didn't think that was going to be possible. I'm still a little lost in terms of like how that works, because typically Alice has been able to go back in time, but she's always continued progressing. It's not like she went to 1997 and then, you know, experienced that in 1998 and 1999 and then went back to 1997. She's like continued moving forward in time until Elliot time travels with her, and now they go back to something that she's already seen, which I was like, how does that work? Is it really because Elliot's there with her that now he can kind of get what he needs to see? You know, the pond always takes you where you need to go. Like, that's what he needed, so it didn't matter that it overrid whatever Alice's has already seen. But now that we've seen that people can time travel with a Landry, like, we need Dell to time travel, but also why wasn't Susanna able to time travel? Like, sure, she couldn't go to the future, but they could have gone further into the past, couldn't they have? So why didn't that work? Although, you know, sometimes the pond doesn't always take you somewhere. Meanwhile, Jacob emerges into 2024. What? You know, I guess it makes sense because he technically would have been alive still during that time, but wouldn't they have taken him back to the 90s? And also why he decided to jump in the pond and come home felt a little weird to me. I think it would have made a lot more sense if they're like, oh my gosh, Goodwin is after Jacob. We need to get him out of here. Time travel to where you're originally from. Instead, it was like they solved that, and then we learned that Thomas and Susanna and them are all cool. They're all okay. We didn't lose anybody. But now they're like, well, as your friend, we think you should go to the future. Like, I just wish that it was a little bit more higher stakes there versus like, just go see your family, friend. I am excited to see Dell be reunited with Jacob. I feel like they're going to throw a wrench into things, though, and make it more complicated, but we'll see what happens. Alice also has a brand new mystery to uncover now that she's realized that Casey Goodwin is wearing the same exact necklace that she has of Kat's engagement ring. What? Also, Casey has been such a minor character that I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? My first thought is, oh my gosh, is Casey really a time traveler too? Maybe she's Alice's daughter from the future? On top of all of that, which is already chaos and insanity, and I'm losing my mind screaming, we get the biggest reveal of all, which is that Colton has been the little shadow man that has appeared a couple of times. I really thought that was Goodwin doing something sinister. Nope, it's been Colton this whole time. He knows about time travel. He is a time traveler. This also puts together that answer of why when Colton was dying in his car accident, it looked like he recognized Kat. I thought maybe that was just like the magic of like giving him one last moment with his daughter. But instead, it seems like he knew the whole time who she was, because he's a time traveler too. But also, if he's still alive, how come he hasn't gone to see his family or find Jacob or chaos. We also get this scene at the very end of a young Colton with his grandmother who clearly knows about all the magic in the pond. We need to speak with her. I need to know more. But also, you know, I was trying to figure out the timeline there. Let's say he was born in the 60s to now, like, he would be able to time travel, but like, you know, the people from the 1800s can't go to the future, right? But I thought Colton's outfit as a kid looked like something maybe from the 1800s. So maybe there's more to this time travel than we think. Maybe you can go to the future. This just opens up a whole new can of worms and brings out so many more questions of how does the pond work? How do they really time travel? I'm just so excited for season 3. I was losing my mind after this finale. I just love this show so much. I'm so excited that we're getting a 3rd season. I feel like the actors really bring so much of themselves to the show. They tackle so many incredible topics and really get to the heart of things. The mysteries keep me hooked. I hope that going into season 3, we can keep the energy of like that finale throughout the entire season. I just cannot wait to see what they do next. I hope more people check out the show because it's so underrated, but it's so well done and just has me questioning everything. I want to know your theories. Leave them in the comments because I feel like we need to go back and forth and discuss this more. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!